chair. I need you to put your hands up, buddy. I want to help you out. Keep your hands up. Hey.
Shots fired over here. We're code 4. Suspect's still up and moving. It's a 998 for us. We're code 4. Guys. All right. Suspect's down.
This happened about a year ago, but a wrongful death lawsuit just happened more recently. So, cops were pursuing a suspect allegedly involved in a domestic violence situation with a firearm. The allegations are as follows. Cops were originally trying to get the suspect to exit a vehicle, but no one responded to them, and they couldn't see in the car past the tinted windows. They allegedly didn't investigate further to see if anyone was in the car.
Inside the white pickup. Open the door slow. Come outside.
When no one answered them or came out of the car, they then turned their attention to a man sitting in the park. Then, one thing led to another, and he ended up getting shot.
He's rocking back and forth, dude. He's rocking. I can't see. Nothing in his hands. Nothing in his hands. Keep your hands up, and you're going to walk towards me, okay? Keep your hands on your head. No, hands on your head. Hands on your head. Listen to me, please. He's picking up something. Keep your hands up. Hey.
Shots fired over here. We're code 4. Suspect's still up and moving. It's a 998 for us. We're code 4. Guys. All right. Suspect's down.
There are also allegations the cops did not render medical aid to this man for almost 20 minutes. Maybe because they wanted to wait for a canine unit or something. Maybe it was a safety claim. But if they were really concerned about safety, don't you think they would have earlier finished investigating the car for the suspect, so he wouldn't be able to surprise them and ambush them if he was there? Also, later, they did look into the car, and they found the man they were looking for was actually there, and he had an apparent self-inflicted fatal gunshot wound. The cop who did the shooting here ended up getting fired. So, if the allegations are true, here are some potential problems I see. 1, if the cops would have investigated the original car further, they would have found their suspect, and the shooting of the innocent man could have been avoided. And 2, there seems to be a big lag in rendering medical aid to the victim after the shooting. Let's see what more information comes to light regarding the victim's movements and what caused the cop to shoot. But police possibly didn't even have the required legal justification to hold the man at gunpoint in the first place. They abandoned their investigation into the car that actually ended up having their suspect in it, and instead they held this innocent man at gunpoint. What reasonable basis did they have for this? Was it only because he just happened to be in the area? It's possible this could justify holding him at gunpoint, but I'd need more information to make a more complete analysis. Lawyers are also saying the victim is about twice the age of the suspect, and it looks like he's a different race than the suspect. I'm not sure what information the police had about the suspect at the time though, but if they did have some of his characteristics and description, then this could possibly make everything more unreasonable depending on if they had a good view of the person in the park or not. So, for the cop to be completely in the legal right here, police would have needed legal justification to hold the man at gunpoint in the first place. The cop would need legal justification to shoot him, for example, if he posed a safety risk. From the audio, it sounds like maybe he was moving his hands or something. I'm not entirely sure what actually happened. And then there would still need to be some legal justification to not render medical aid to him more quickly. So, even if the cop had a good reason to shoot the man because of what he was doing with his hands, for example, there are still all these other potential problems. Plus, the interim city manager seems to agree that the cop was in the wrong, at least on a policy basis. Look at this statement here. It says his actions were not within policy, and he's alleging a pattern of this sort of misconduct. Also, an update from a while ago says that the cop is not being charged criminally because they think there's no reasonable chance of convicting the officer. Remember, in the criminal context, the standard is beyond a reasonable doubt, which is a much higher standard than the civil context, where it tends to be preponderance of the evidence, which essentially means more likely than not or greater than 50% chance. Also, it sounds like when they were giving instructions to the victim here, they were calling him Angelo, which obviously wasn't his name, so that only adds to the confusion for this person. He was just sitting in the park, and the cops come out of nowhere and start yelling commands, and they're calling him a different name, so it must have been very confusing for him.